Now, I will be honest, when I found out about Charlie Kirk's passing, I didn't know who he was. I had to look him up. I don't follow that type of media. And when I looked him up and I found out who he was, something popped in my head like instantly. And it was this movie or this series that was on Netflix. It was called Zero Day. And I honestly feel like this series had a lot of pre-programming in it. And I told my listeners before I actually watched it, the listeners to my podcast, that it felt very pre-programming just from the credit, just from the trailer, that I was going to watch it and basically talk about it. At the time that I watched it, I thought it had more to do with like Neuralinks and mind control. And I still think it does. But there were some things that really kind of reminded me of this series after yesterday. And one of them was this character, Evan Green. He was very controversial in the series, and he was very, I guess you could almost say, centered off speaking and of like giving these public debates, these political views that a lot of society disagreed with or a lot of people did not like. And unfortunately, after hearing about everything that happened yesterday, it automatically reminded me of this character. And now there's a lot of talk about social media and political violence and what's going to happen next. And what's interesting is in Nepal, they basically have taken over and dismantled the government system. And people are saying it's because of social media. That's the picture that they're painting, right? Because of social media, people are they can't think for themselves or they're so influenced. And that's kind of, in some ways, some of the aspects that was talked about in this series. Politics are wild. And violence has been occurring for years in political places. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to come to an end. It's just that I thought about that like instantly after I researched who he was. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.